Hi everyone, and welcome to the Cancer January 2022 New Year's Self-Illumination reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot and Meaning-Based Spiritual Coaching Services. I am Lauren. Hi and welcome and Happy New Year. So all of my readings are meant to help you find the meaning in a current challenge or challenges you are facing. And when I talk about meaning, what does that mean? Well, that's taking a look at what spirit is challenging you to discover and illuminate about yourself, your spiritual path and purpose, and how that can be of service to the greater collective experience. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a card, and we're going to take a look at your current energy, Cancer, what you're sitting with right now as we start to move into the month of January. It looks like the cards are pretty talkative right now, so I'm very curious to see what's going to come out. So we have the Seven of Wands. Now, the Seven of Wands is a card that right off the bat brings to mind defending one's position or defending one's inspiration, idea, or action. I'm going to pull a card for your external energy. Basically, what Spirit is asking you to take a look at and be challenged to kind of rise up into. And we have the Ten of Cups. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful card. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Three of Wands. So this is your overarching energy. This is the meaning and the lesson that is what you are currently being challenged to learn. And as to why. So we're going to look into this a little bit further here. So we have you sitting with the energy of basically self-preservation in a way. That's really the message that's coming through for me. This quality of having the higher ground and understanding what is important to you. Now, the sevens in the tarot can represent a time of reflection, a time of almost checking in with Spirit to evaluate some aspect of your life and if it's worth it to keep going in that area. And when we look at wands, wands are about inspiration, action, even communication. And so there's this quality here of really checking in with Spirit to see, should I continue to defend these actions I'm taking, or this inspiration I'm following, or this maybe even message I want to put out there? And what's happening in your external environment is the Ten of Cups. Now, for some of you, you may look at this and go, that is not what's happening in my external environment. The Ten of Cups is what represents the ultimate heart's fulfillment. It is the happy family card. To me, it is almost our vision of heaven brought down, made manifest on earth. So if you were to sit and think, what is my ideal environment? What would I love to wake up into and feel like I had won the lottery of life? Well, that's the Ten of Cups. And so there's this element here of a little bit of a juxtaposition of you feeling like you need to defend something within your life around action or inspiration or even some type of communication, juxtaposed with Spirit's trying to show you what you have in your external environment, which is the Ten of Cups. You're sitting in that environment and perhaps you're not realizing it. And the greater lesson that is being learned here, and we're going to take a look at kind of we're going to go into details to what the challenges are with you embracing the Ten of Cups, is that we have the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands is a card of expectation. Often it's referred to as the cards of waiting for your ships to come in. And it's where you've taken some action, you have three wands, but now you're at a point where, okay, what's going to come back in from that action? And what I'm seeing here is a quality of needing to understand needing to embrace that kind of heart's fulfillment, that desire, that dream, that wish, but understanding also where you stand so that as stuff starts to come into you, good things, as your ships start to come in, which it seems very much like this month that the energy is heading in that direction, you will know which ship to pick, because there's a quality here of you are simply waiting, you're watching, you're waiting to see what comes in. Now there could be 4 ships that come in. You might have maybe these 3 wands were 3 wands of communication that you sent out. It could be something like you sent out 3 resumes to find new jobs, and you don't know what's going to come back. You could get all 3 applications received and 3 interviews. Or be told, hey, we all want you, we all want to hire you. And it's up to you now to make that decision. Okay, well, what is within my best interest? What really am I sitting here wanting to defend, and knowing that as I kind of commune with spirit and reflect on what I feel I need to defend and protect, how is that going to help me navigate and choose wisely from basically what Spirit's bringing into me? And it's going to be connected specifically to you stepping into your heart's fulfillment, stepping into this place of emotional connection, but to your external environment. Sometimes this can be reverse, where we're sitting kind of in an external environment that's all about, like, people needing to kind of a little bit be at odds and be defensive, and you're sitting internally with this feeling. And it's kind of the opposite with here. You're feeling like you need to protect something internally, and yet your external environment is almost sitting there with open arms. And Spirit's asking you to step up into that connection, into that, embrace the feeling of love in your external environment, because that's going to help navigate what's coming in for you. Okay, so let's take a look here at what challenges you're currently sitting with. Now keep in mind, this is a very general reading, so I will pull 3 cards at the end where we're going to take a look and utilize the power of the 3 basic principles of curiosity, courage, and contemplation. We're going to build in 3 action steps, questions, and things to take a look at and keep in mind through the month of January to help make what is a very, this is way too many, very general message to help individualize it for you and to make it something that can actually be used and applied throughout the month to bring additional awareness to yourself and, again, to your path and spiritual purpose. Let's see, what does Cancer need to know? What are they facing right now? What are some of the challenges? I hope you are all having a good start to the new year. It is a fresh year. It's a year that really is very different energetically from the previous 2 years. This is a year that really is actually about embracing the concept of love, both on a grand energetic scale and on an individual scale. All right, so right off the bat, you have some pretty powerful cards coming out here. Cancer, you have the Moon. We have the King of Cups and the Star. And what I'm seeing here just with these cards, oh my goodness, let's get, okay. So we also have the Hierophant, the 8 of Swords, and the Emperor. Oh goodness, okay. So what I'm seeing here right off the bat is there is this quality coming through with the Moon. There is this unknown quality. And the Moon is actually what it represents to me, which I don't hear of so often, with other readers, but what it represents to myself is being called up. It almost, in a way, represents in a more, it's hard for me to explain, almost in a softer way than the Judgment card in the tarot. Represents this kind of calling from Spirit, from the universe, from God, however you choose to interact with Spirit. That it's this calling to go out of your comfort zone, to walk a path on faith. And if you see here in this card, there's a lobster or a crayfish or whatever you would call it coming up out of the ocean, and it almost looks like it's being called to journey on the land. And if you think about that, it's being called to leave a environment that it is meant for, that it seems to be, made for, and is very comfortable in, and it's being called to go on a journey towards this distant mountain. And it might not understand if it can live on land. It's almost like being given this quest, this feeling, a soft push to go forward, and yet the way is not quite clear, and it is coming out of your comfort zone. But then we have the King of Cups that follows, and the King of Cups is about being strong in your emotions. Cancer, you are a card that is a cardinal sign all about really stepping into that place of empowerment through utilizing your intuitive emotional core, meaning that you are a sign that really can take emotions and use them to guide you in making decisions, to guide you in even where to kind of help others. And it's a beautiful superpower to have. And the King of Cups really shows strength and mastery in ruling from a place or living from a place where you are utilizing your emotions and you're in touch with them, but you're not being overrun by them. So there's this quality here of staying strong, coming from a place of knowing your superpower and using that as you are kind of called into a very scary environment, perhaps a place you have never been, that you are still in touch with your emotions and are almost kind of going forward with this steely reserve and also with this sense of, I know what I want to protect. And we have the star in the center of your reading, and the star is a beautiful card that symbolizes hope. It symbolizes your guiding star. It is to each one of us different in what it means, meaning each one of us has a different star that guides us, a different ultimate hope or dream or wish or desire. And it's in getting in touch with that allows us to navigate, even in the darkest of times, even at night. Even if we have a little bit of moonlight, it's still very dark. But if we can find our star, it's easy to navigate by that. And that's why, many, ancient cultures, and even sometimes today, people will look for the North Star and use that to navigate by. But when you think about the expansiveness of the universe and just how many, beyond trillions of stars and planets and bodies that are out there that we can only see just a tiny glimpse of, there are so many bodies out there that if every single human picked a star, we could each pick our own. And no two could ever pick the same star. And that's a quality that is very, that the star embodies, that the star card embodies, that no two people's star will ever be the same. Moving into the Hierophant. The Hierophant are the rules either set in place by our external environment, the rules of society, the rules of religion, the rules of even the household, but it can also be the internal rules that we place on ourselves, what we choose to follow. So there's this quality here of being called up into the unknown, out of your comfort zone, trying to find the strength to hold strong in your emotions, to be able to follow that star, but to do so in a way that I would say almost breaks a little bit of the rules. Because what I'm seeing here with the Eight of Swords coming after the Hierophant is there's a quality of almost being stuck in the mind, of feeling trapped and this could be trapped by, again, the rules of society, the regulations, the steps you feel you have to take, what other people maybe are even telling you you must do. And yet the last card here, a clarifier for the Eight of Swords, is the Emperor. And I feel strongly, Cancer, that you need to be reminded this month that you are the Emperor. You are the Emperor in your own empire, which we each have. Now, the Emperor, there's a good side and a bad side to every card in its energy. The Emperor, if you think about a ruling entity, can be either very open and broad-minded and has advisors and is curious and wants to have his empire and the people who are within it, he keeps their best, how would I say it? Their best ideals in mind. And the other side could be a petty dictator, where this is a person who doesn't want to work with others and doesn't want to hear the advice of others and doesn't care about the other people who might be influenced by his empire. Instead, he just is almost like a narcissist, just does what he wants to do or she wants to do. So, but I feel here very much so with the Ten of Cups coming up here and the Three of Wands here, that there's this reminder that hold to your strength. Find with whatever struggle you're going through, and as you're stepping out of your comfort zone, that it's calling you to hold strong in your emotions. And it might be hard. This might be a very difficult month. You might be going through something. I mean, it's scary when you feel pulled either internally or pushed by external circumstances to walk an unknown path on faith. But what Spirit's reminding you of is you have your star, you have your hope, you have your own wish and dream. And that is where Spirit is pushing you right now. So you have to dig deep and have the strength to do that, but not to get rid of your emotions or hide them, but to find your strength in them. So that when you feel over here like you are hindered and trapped and blocked by the rules that are currently in place, that Spirit's saying it's time to break those rules. And you could be breaking those rules even just on an emotional level. That, you know what, I am going to express that this isn't working for me on an emotional level anymore. I am going to utilize my emotions to direct where I want to focus my energy. And I'm going to be strong in my knowledge that this is what's going to help me identify where I need to kind of go in the darkness. And in addition to that, to also understand that the rules we choose to follow are simply that. We are making the choice to follow them, whether they are rules we've created for ourselves, whether they are the rules of others. And again, this is the reminder, you're the emperor. You make the rules in your own life. You make the choices. The decision-making power always lies within the individual. So you have the choice as to what rules you want to follow, what systems you want to follow, and ultimately those systems and those rules should be based around your hope, your dream, your wish, and to allow you, as you start to realize that, to understand and open yourself up to making that wish, feeling into that hope, to be strong in kind of giving in to that place where maybe you're too afraid to hope for something, or you're too afraid to give into that wish, that dream, that desire. And instead you're kind of just sitting in this trapped place in your mind of kind of fear and anxiety, and I can't get around this, and I can't do this. This is almost like all of the things you think are in place because of this, because of the rules and regulations. You feel like you're just being trapped by all of these things. And yet in reality, just like in this picture, it shows these people could just walk away from here. They're not actually trapped. They're just aimlessly wandering among a bunch of swords randomly placed. And this is telling you it's time to step up into your power, Cancer. You're a cardinal sign because your ships are coming in. And it's time to defend what you know you need to defend, to do so almost stepping into that kind of mama bear or mama lion kind of place, or papa bear, papa lion, depending on, if you're feminine energy or masculine energy, whichever way you choose to kind of focus on right now. And then we have the Ten of Cups in your external environment. So that's going to help you really be able to understand there's a lot of love out there right now around you. And Spirit's asking you to realize that, to realize just how supportive the energy is for you this month. So that as you're making the tough calls and this tough decision about which ship to take as it comes in, you're basing that off of your unique hope and dream and that part of yourself that you're almost afraid to give into. And that when the decisions come up, even if it feels like it goes against the tried and true, societal norms, what your family tells you is great, what your religion tells you should do, even what you think you yourself should do, that ultimately you step back in, you remember who you are, you quietly sit with your emotions, and you make that decision from a strong emotional state with the help of others around you. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull 3 cards here to help take this general message into more of a place of an individualized experience for you. So we're going to pull a card. The first card here is for the concept of curiosity. We're going to build a question around the energies of the card that you can help ask yourself this month that will help you kind of open up and perhaps take a look at something you weren't already aware of, or the theme in your life that maybe now, when you think about it throughout the month, you might have a different take on it, and something might come to mind that will help you specifically with the energy of your opportunities coming in and being able to stay strong in what you want to defend, but with the knowledge that your environment is incredibly supportive. All right, let's see. What does Cancer need to stay curious and open to this month? Sometimes these cards have a hard time coming out. It's a big deck. There's slightly sticky cards, so if it doesn't want to come out here, I will just choose one. One more shuffle. One more door. Oh, there we go. Oh, and boy, could that not be a better card. We have Door to Personal Healing and Happiness. And I love this card. It's so beautiful. Number 34, which actually reduces to the number 7 in numerology, which lines up beautifully with the actual universal number around the month of January, which is the number 7. And the number 7 is working with spirit. It's being able to sit back and trust that you are being led down, and I don't like to say led down the right path because we are only on our one individual path, but that the steps you're taking are furthering you down your path, getting you closer to your ultimate hope, wish, dream, desire. So when we want to build a question around this for the month of January, Door to Personal Healing and Happiness. When we think about healing and happiness, what do those 2 areas mean to you specifically? If you were to open the doors, if you were to close your eyes and imagine walking up to double doors that you could open, and on the other side there was this, the life of your dreams, your ultimate emotional fulfillment, your heart's desire. And it was a place where all of the pain that you have felt can be healed and released. It is a place where not only yourself, but the other people you are with and interacting with are happy. What would that look like to you? And just imagine a scene and imagine yourself stepping in. Ask yourself this question throughout the month, because what you start with in the month might be very different than how you end this month. Because sometimes what we don't realize is as we start to think about healing and happiness and kind of our ideal vision for what we would love to have as our emotional heart's fulfillment, that we've changed and grown as a person. We could be holding true to an ideal that is outdated, that no longer serves us, and that now as we walk forward, circumstances have happened and maybe are happening in this month that are going to very much change that vision for you. So stay open. This is where Spirit is asking you to stay open, especially with that number 7 coming through here. To stay open to what Spirit is actually, and I kind of feel here there's something about a deep desire or dream or hope that you have almost been pushing away from yourself. And so like, that's never going to happen. I can't even go there. That's never going to happen. And Spirit's asking you to trust, to surrender, to understand you can have that. And something that's coming in this month is going to help get you one step closer, but also perhaps show you now what that healing and happiness would feel like. Okay, now I'm going to pull a card for the concept of courage. And this is where we're going to see a message that needs to come through that should be kept in mind as you're taking action throughout the month of January. So when you think about courage, courage is all about the courage to hold strong in making choices and decisions from a place of awareness that are with keeping ourselves in mind at the same time, so that we're not just going through the motions of randomly taking actions and at the end of the day not even realizing what we did. That we're having the courage to sometimes make the tough decisions to, for instance, maybe go a little outside of the norm. Maybe you have to break a rule, or you have to forgive yourself for going against maybe what you've always felt comfortable doing. And it's interesting when you think about some of even the smallest decisions we make. Sometimes we will choose a slightly easier action because we just don't want to go through the hassle. We just don't want to drive the extra 5 minutes to get a slightly healthier dinner option. Or we just don't want to wake up the extra 30 minutes early to get that extra workout in, or whatever it is. These small little decisions end up snowballing into creating our reality. And it's coming from a place of awareness throughout this month that as you take these actions, to have the courage to sometimes choose the harder action. And as you are doing that, to keep in mind, surrender to receiving support and love. Beautiful message and incredibly in alignment with the Ten of Cups here in your external environment. It says, allow the love and support of others in, rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. So this month, every time you are taking action and you start to feel this Eight of Swords, this element of I'm trapped, I don't know what to do, surrender. 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 And understand that your environment right now is incredibly supportive. That's what Spirit's trying to show you, that you have all the support and the love around you needed to, when something comes in for you this month, to have the courage to stand strong and step aboard that ship. And so if that means that you have to take some things off your plate, or you have to rely on others this month, you can do that from a place of emotional strength, of stating to others why you need their help and giving gratitude for that. Really showing gratitude to Spirit that you have all of this support in your external environment. And allowing yourself to maybe have a little bit of rest to be able to realign with your star and to maybe heal something this month. Okay, last card out is we're going to focus on the concept of contemplation. And this is going to be something that you're going to keep in mind that will help hold you responsible to taking action and to also reflecting. So when you think about contemplation, it's reflection. So this is about holding yourself accountable to reflecting on the consequences of your actions and also what's happening around you. It's meant to bring awareness and illumination both to your internal environment, but also to your external environment. So this is a good point, a question or a energy to keep in mind as you're maybe building in some meditation time this month, or just at night before you fall asleep as you think about your day and you're reflecting, to also think on this as well. So we have birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. And I think this ties in this entire reading like beautifully, in that when you think about giving birth and creating something almost from nothing. When you think about if you are a woman or even a man who has gone through that experience of watching a child come to be, there's this element of everything that had to be sacrificed before that happened. So all of the steps that were put in place to help nurture the child in the womb, all of the preparatory steps taken to build an environment that would be welcoming to the future child, and then all the dreaming and the hoping that's involved throughout that process. And there's this quality coming through here, Cancer, of stepping into the energy of that you are in this process of being called forth to step out of your comfort zone because you are creating something new, something for yourself that has never been. And it's going to specifically be in alignment with a hope, or a deep hope or dream, and helping you really step into this energy of healing and happiness. And that with whatever opportunities are coming in for you this month, that they are part of surrendering to this hope or dream that I think perhaps takes on a larger vision for yourself. I get this deep feeling, Cancer, that it goes beyond just a happy household or getting that dream job or being of service in a way where you're donating your time to this specific charitable organization. There's this quality here of tying that all together, that deep hope or dream is all of those things combined into one, and in its very core, there's one singular combining element, whether that all of that be of service to one specific area or whether everything ties back to home and family, even the job that kind of comes into that there's something here that in dreaming a new world into being, that in being reminded that you're the emperor in your own life and that you have the permission now to really lean into that deep, deep hope or dream, that's where the healing's going to come from. And that's where you're going to know what to protect and stand strong in, rely on others as you're taking action and making decisions, so that when this opportunity comes in, Spirit is trying to direct you to the one that is going to help make this beautiful new world for yourself come into being. This is going to be a powerful month. I feel almost like I want to cry a little bit, Cancer. So I feel like it's a little emotional as well. You could be going through something difficult, or it could just be, again, that fear of it's something new. You could have moved, you could have taken a new job. It could be that there are changes happening for you that, again, are just pushing you outside of a place you've always been and felt maybe you were suited to. And now you feel that you are kind of a fish out of water. But Spirit's letting you know that this is part of a divine plan. And if you can continue to take responsibility for taking action and trusting in that plan, it's going to allow you to really enjoy and be grateful and utilize the abundance in your external environment, but also to step into something that is going to bring a deep hope, dream, or desire to life for you. And that's something, this is a catalytic month, I feel. All right, Cancer, I hope you have a wonderful January, and I look forward to reading for you again in February. Bye.